Well, welcome back, everybody. 5:17. We're in the kitchen cooking with Ellen. How are you doing, Ellen?
I'm doing good.
We're making whole wheat bread today, right?
Yes, we are. And we're actually going to start from the wheat kernel.
We're starting like really from scratch this morning.
From scratch.
All right.
Today I brought with me a bowl with some wheat kernels.
Okay.
And my family has owned this grain mill for about 10 to 15 years now. And we've started several years ago grinding our own wheat to make our own flour.
Wow.
So you can see like the little kernels, just like it's on the stalk.
Started out as that and ended up as this.
It's
How neat is that? So how long has it taken that grain mill to turn into flour?
Only about 10 to 15 minutes to grind it into flour.
Okay.
So it's really neat. Now, I mean, I know a lot of people, some people may go out and buy a grain mill, but a lot of people don't necessarily want to have the money to or the time to. But I just wanted to show it just so that people could see this is what whole wheat flour really is.
The bread that we're going to make started out as this.
As this, yes.
All
so
right, well,
this is the mill. Did everybody able to see the mill?
Yeah, there it is.
And you just put the flour in the top and it grinds it down to the bottom.
Okay.
So anyway,
we're not going to actually do it on air because it's a little loud.
it's kind of loud. So you just turn it on, grind it up.
All right.
And
let's go over our recipes, over our ingredients, just a few ingredients this morning.
Alrighty, we're going to have a cup plus 2 tablespoons of hot water.
Okay.
That's going to be like 105 to 115 degrees, tap hot. 3/4 of a teaspoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of honey, 3/4 teaspoons of salt, 2½ cups of whole wheat flour, and I'm noticing that the yeast is missing on that. It'd be 2½ teaspoons.
That's a key ingredient for bread.
If you don't put the yeast in there, it's going to be flat.
Okay.
So,
which flatbread's okay too.
right.
It's just fine.
Right.
All right, well, we're going to take a break here, and we'll get to making our flour and kneading it, or our bread, and we've also got some stuff to eat with it later. And we'll take a break and come back with more in just a minute. Oh, welcome back. It's 5:21. I'm just talking.
Oh, yeah.
In the kitchen with Ellen. We're making whole wheat bread, and we're starting all the way from scratch this morning.
That's right. We started with our wheat kernels. And let's go ahead and get our bread making, and I'll knead it while I'll talk about some of the benefits of whole grains.
All right.
So I went ahead and mixed together the sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of sugar, 2½ teaspoons of yeast, and a cup and 2 tablespoons of hot water.
Okay.
And I want to do that so I can show you all what frothy yeast is. This was a 1.5 cups, so it's almost doubled in size.
Okay.
It's real frothy.
And you remember, you said that the hot water is not boiling hot, just from the faucet, right?
You don't want to kill the yeast, so just like faucet, tap hot.
Okay.
Then we're going to mix in 2 tablespoons of oil.
Okay.
And let's use canola oil.
All right.
And 2 tablespoons of honey.
All right.
So we got that. And then I've already measured out 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So if you want to stick that in there.
Where is it?
Right there.
Oh.
There you go.
Right here beside the slips.
Yeah.
I can't even make it from here to there without spilling. There we go.
All right, so we'll mix this up. And then we're going to start adding flour.
All right.
And you want to add flour. It kind of takes a little bit of learning, but you want to add flour till it pulls away from the size of the bowl. So we're going to start with, if you'll get another 1/2 cup.
Okay.
And then you can put that in here. And then we're just going to keep going until it makes a nice dough. Yeah, go ahead and add it.
All right.
So it gets a little tough on the arms, so you got to keep mixing. All righty. You can add another 1/2. Yeah. All right, and that's probably going to be good.
All right.
And you want to add and mix up until it starts pulling away from the sides of the bowl, like I said.
I got you.
See how the bowl's getting clean? But you want to not add so much that then it's dry. You don't want dry bread.
All right.
So while I mix this up, if you'll put like maybe like
a little bit on here.
A little bit of oil. We're going to use oil. When you're using whole grains, a lot of times oil works better than flour.
On the surface?
Right there on the cutting board.
Tell me how much.
Maybe like just about a little. That should be good. So I've noticed that a lot of times if you use flour, your bread is drier.
Okay. Because I would have used flour myself.
Yeah, and it'll work fine, but I've just noticed oil works better.
Okay.
So we're going to spread this out and get our hands a little messy.
You can't be afraid to get your hands dirty for this recipe.
Oh, yes. So, and a lot of people, like I said, you can buy whole wheat flour at the store. So if you don't have a mill, you can always buy the whole wheat flour and do just the same thing.
But you're such a happy homemaker that you started. You have the mill. You did yours on fresh this morning.
So to knead the bread, we just push and fold and push and fold. And the purpose of kneading is to develop the gluten, which is what kind of holds it together and Then we're gonna push out those air holes because we don't want air holes in our bread.
Push and fold. Push and
Right.
fold. Can I do that to make my waist smaller?
Probably so.
Push and fold. All right.
So we're gonna need this about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're gonna shape a loaf. So
All
while
right.
I'm kneading it, I'll just mention whole wheat bread. The reason why we want to eat that is because it has more vitamins and minerals. When you take like white bread,
It's got a
you
lot of
take
sugar in it, too.
There are 3 parts of the wheat kernel: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. And in white bread, they take the bran and the germ out, and all they leave is the starchy part. And that's why it's not quite as healthy. And they re-enrich it with those vitamins and minerals, but they take out a lot of fiber, and it's just not as good as the natural stuff.
Okay. We've got a little
So,
less than 30 seconds.
We're gonna go ahead and
For our loaf, do we need to grease the bottom of this at all?
grease the pan.
Okay.
We're gonna press this out, and it's not quite as sticking together as if I'd have kneaded it for a whole 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna press and roll it up
All
like
right.
this.
Well, we're going to continue to let you press and fold and get it in
Right.
our loaf here.
We're gonna put it in the oven, cold up. Well, we're gonna let it rise for about an hour. Put it in a cold oven, 350 degrees, 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go over to the weather wall now with Brian. When we come back, we'll try our bread. Of course, this is going to go into the Magic TV oven.
Yes.
Brian. Ta-da! Our bread's baked.
It's magic.
Wow.
Didn't take long.
It didn't. It's fast. Super
Alrighty.
duper oven. All
I'm gonna
right.
go ahead and
Smells good.
start cutting it. We're gonna, as soon as we get out of the oven, we'll flip it out, and it'll be really hot.
Okay.
And I'll just slice y'all off a piece.
Is
So
there
who
any
wants-
butter?
Well, I've got jelly and I have cheese.
I'd like cheese, please.
So y'all go ahead. Here's a napkin.
Hey, come on.
What? Do you want me to prepare yours?
You always get mine first.
Sorry, Charlie. Would you put that in the microwave for me, Bill?
Sure.
Thanks.
There you go.
All
There's a
right.
napkin right there.
Would you like some jam
Jelly?
or something?
I like to eat mine like this. I like to taste everything in the bread.
Okay. I do too, with cheese on it. All right, now if you want Ellen's recipe, of course, for this whole wheat bread, it's homemade. You can do
Yes.
it all the way from scratch. You
Spread?
can go to
Yes.
cookingwithellen.com and get all the ingredients and the recipe. Plus, Ellen always has tips on there about why what she makes
Oh,
is
yeah.
good for you. Do you like it, Brian?
Yes, it is very good.
Could you get my bread out of the oven?
It may not be
please?
ready. It was only 10 seconds.
Let's see.
Nah, let's do
Not
another
quite.
10 seconds.
Let's let it keep going. So we've got cheese here to go with our bread. We've got jelly, and this also has honey in it, so you taste a little hint of
Right.
sweetness in it.
Yeah,
And you
I
can
do.
always put more honey on it. You can have, we have just for sandwiches.
Uh-huh.
This would make good sandwich
That's
bread.
probably good. All right, cookingwithellen.com. You can get this recipe and all of Ellen's recipes. She's been here with us for months now and has made some really, really good
Yes,
stuff.
she has.
Oh, yeah.
fabulous.
That's look at that.
Fabulous.
Now that is some good old cheese toast there for you. Sorry.
How is it on
Oh,
here?
fantastic. All I need is some ham and another
Yes,
slice of
I
bread.
was thinking that.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go. We'll finish our cheese toast and we'll be back with more news for you in just a moment. Thanks, Ellen.
Thanks.